Hello, my name is Omar Toledo. I am a Java instructor, and in this video I'm gonna teach you how to use the scanner. Okay, so let's gonna do it. So this is an empty class, an empty program, and I'm gonna teach you how to incorporate the scanner. And why do you need to learn about the scanner? Okay, what happens when you go to Target, Walmart, public store? What happens? Do you see the cashier?
Yes.
The cashier has something, right?
Of
Correct?
course.
Okay, and have a scanner. And what cashier that with a scanner?
It scans the items.
Perfect. Scan the items, right? So when the cashier scan the item, they get the information, correct, of the item and put the information into the system. So now we need to use the scanner to grab the information, okay, from our program, right? Because the program will interact with the user, right? You're going to ask the user, enter a number. And then what happens? The user is going to enter a number. And what do you need? Grab the number and introduce the number in your program, in the computer memory. So the scanner is going to help us to grab the number and place the number into our variables. Okay? So now, how can we going to tell Java that we're going to use the scanner? Remember, we have to be really explicit with Java. We have to tell Java what we're going to do in our program. So first step is tell Java that we're going to incorporate the scanner in our program. So first thing that you have to do is use import on the very top of your program. Here. Import space Java dot util dot scanner. Statement terminator, semicolon at the end. So now we're telling the Java that we're going to use the scanner. Okay? So then, what you're going to do that? Remember, in order to execute a program, you need the main method. Okay, let's gonna write the main method here. I'm gonna write it here. Public static. Public static. What else? Remember? Void. Perfect. Main. Perfect.
Method.
Perfect. And now inside the parentheses, we're gonna put a string. Later, you're gonna understand really well what mean a string, bracket, argument, void, static. But for now, remember that I told you in my previous video, you need to know that the main method is the starting point of execution of your program. In order to run a program, you need the main method. Okay? So curly braces have to match open and close. I'm gonna close the curly braces. Okay. So now, we told Java that we're gonna use the scanner. So now here in the main method, we're gonna declare the scanner. Huh? Like this. Scanner. Correct? And now you're gonna name your scanner. How do you gonna call the scanner? You can call my scanner, scanner,
So
input.
you can call the scanner any name.
Any name.
Like flower, playground,
Whatever.
lights, whatever.
But in programming, we use something to, when you name your variable, when you name your everything that you can name in Java, you try to put something meaningful, something meaningful that helps you to identify later in your program. So instead of to put just chicken, piggy, something like that, we're gonna call that a scanner or maybe input. I like to use input, but it's up to you.
I understand it. So like when the person who codes it doesn't get confused.
Exactly. This is the reason why everything that you name in Java have to be meaningful. Perfect. Good, Ishmael. So now, a scanner, I'm gonna call that input. Equal new scanner parentheses. Okay. For now, you have to memorize how to write it down. Later, when we're gonna learn object-oriented programming, remember, this is just basic thing. Later in my videos, when I'm gonna teach you object-oriented programming, you're gonna understand completely how to create objects. For now, just believe me, create the scanner like this, and then everything is gonna make sense. Okay, so now scanner input, this is the name of my scanner, input equal new scanner, and inside the parentheses you're gonna have to write system.in. Okay.
Excuse me, is there like when my system not playing, is there like a shortcut to do it? Excuse me, Professor, I have a question.
Yes.
So there can be a shortcut to put system out plant, or you can do a shortcut because it would take a long time to type system out plant, then dot and everything. So is there a shortcut to type it in the computer?
To create the scanner?
Yes.
No. For example, when we're gonna use system.out.println line, yes, there is a shortcut that I told you the last video, SOUT, right? But for the scanner, no, you will have to type that. There is no shortcut. It's not Java or NetBeans or whatever editor that we're gonna use is not gonna autocomplete that for you. You will have to type everything. Good question. Okay, so let's gonna continue. So the important thing here is that inside the parentheses, I wrote system.in. So what means system.in? Many students just write it down and they don't have an idea what to mean that. But I like to explain everything. You know me. So what is inside parentheses? System.in. What's it mean? Okay, with the scanner I told you that we're gonna grab the data, right? Okay. What happened? The user is gonna enter the data. How the user is gonna enter the data? Typing the data, right? The user is gonna see enter a number,
Yes.
and then the user is gonna type a number and press enter, right?
Of course.
Correct.
I understand it.
So when the user press enter, the number that the user did type is gonna be collected, grabbed for the scanner. And this is the instruction system.in that is gonna make that. So system.in means that the scanner is gonna grab the data from the keyboard. System.in grab the data from the keyboard. So this is the reason why the scanner is gonna be linked now to the keyboard. The user is gonna type something, press enter, and the scanner, since we right here system.in, is gonna grab the data from the keyboard. Later, after we learn object-oriented programming, we're gonna learn how to read data from files. So we're not gonna use this instruction. Later we're gonna learn that, but I wanna you understand much better what's mean that. Okay, the scanner is gonna be like link to the keyboard. Okay, so this is the instruction that you have to write always when you wanna use the scanner. So now what happened? Remember, your goal is put the data that the user entered into variables, right? Remember from my previous videos?
Yes.
Okay, so now let's gonna write here I'm gonna draw the computer memory really quick. Okay, this is the memory. Right, the memory. And inside the computer memory, we're gonna have variable, right?
Yes.
So, what happens if I wanna declare a variable to store whole number? What do I have to write? Remember? Remember here, int, right? Correct?
Yeah, int.
And then, what do I have to write here? The name of the variable, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's gonna call that number. None1. Okay, what happened when I write this instruction? Java is gonna create in the computer memory a container called num1. And this container is gonna hold decimal numbers?
No. Whole numbers.
Only whole number, perfect. Only whole number,
Yay.
perfect. So what happened here? So you design a variable to store whole numbers. Now your job is gonna be collect the information from the user, correct? How can you display message in Java, remember? System.out, right? So let's gonna use the shortcut SOUT, remember system.out?
And then tab.
Alright, tab, and it's gonna complete system.out println line, perfect. So let's gonna write here, enter a number. Okay, so the user now is gonna see a message. Enter a number, correct? And the user, suppose that the user is gonna enter the number 5 and press enter. Okay, what happened? Now your goal now here is put the number 5 in this container, right?
Yes.
And we need to do that using the scanner, okay? So how are we gonna use the scanner? Remember the assignment operator?
Yeah.
Remember the assignment? We're gonna use the assignment operator here. So your goal is put in this variable num1. Okay, I'm gonna write here num1, right? Num1 assignment operator equal, right? So now what happened? I wanna use the scanner. Okay, what is the name of the scanner?
Num1.
The name of the scanner?
Input.
Input. Come on. Input. The scanner is called input. Okay? And if I type that, you're gonna see many options. Which option do I have to select from the scanner to collect a whole number? It's next in. So the trick here is that you will have to know how to use the scanner. Next int. So what happened with next int? Next int is gonna grab a whole number, an integer. Okay? If you know that your variable is to store a whole number, because you call here int, right? Integer. So you know that you're going to store whole number here. The scanner has to receive a whole number, next in. Okay? So now, when the user type 5 and press enter, the scanner is going to capture the number 5 and it's going to put in which variable?
In num1.
Perfect, in num1, because this is the assignment operator. Whatever the scanner capture, that in this case is going to be 5, when the user press enter, the scanner is going to capture that and store in num1. So in num1 you're going to have now 5. This is how the scanner works.
Yay!
You like it? You like it? Come on, come on. Who thinks you would love? Okay.
Yeah.
So now, we know how to use the scanner for integers. Now, I didn't teach you. I'm gonna teach you now how to collect data from decimal numbers. Okay, how can we gonna collect data from decimal numbers? Let's gonna create another variable. Okay, another variable, for example, double. Oh, double.
For decimal.
For decimal. For example, let's gonna call num2. Okay, num2. Double. So you're gonna have in the computer memory a special variable now to hold decimal numbers. Things about whole variables, container for apples, okay? And things about doubles, container for watermelons. So they are watermelons, they're big one, okay?
Yeah.
So in double you can have big fruit. With integer you have just only apples, small fruit, okay? Okay, things about it. Later you will understand much better with this example. So now what happened? I have a double num2. So let me write it down here. Num2. Remember, you create that in Java, and immediately create in the computer memory the variable num2 to store decimal numbers. So now what happened? You would like to tell the user, enter a decimal number. So system.out, right? S-O-U-T, system.tab, boom. And you're gonna display enter a decimal number. Okay. Okay. Now let's go and store the decimal number in num2. So num2 equal. What is the name of my scanner?
Input.
Input. Perfect. Input. That for whole number was next int. Now this container is to store decimal numbers. So the scanner has to collect a decimal number. So the option that you have to select for the scanner for decimal number now is next double. So the only thing that you have to know with the scanner is how to use that. If you have a variable for doubles, you will have to use next double. If you have a variable for whole number integers, you will have to use next int. So with those next int and next double, you're going to be able to collect whole numbers and decimal numbers, the numbers that you want. Okay? Simple.
Really easy.
For numbers, okay? But now what happened for text, for strings? What happens if you want to receive, please enter your name, and you want to collect here in the computer memory the name of the user. Okay? What happens if you write here SOUT Let's gonna create something first. Let's gonna create a variable. In your previous video, remember that you create variables to hold text, strings in programming. So let's gonna create a variable here, a string. A string, for example, name. Correct? Okay. A string name. You're gonna have here like a. Later I'm gonna draw much better. For now, just thinking the string like a regular variable. A string is not a regular variable. A string is a class, but later we're gonna talk about that. Just for now, think like as a string like a regular data type, but it's not a regular data type. Later you're gonna know that. So here you have the variable name. Correct? Name. Now you wanna display a message. Okay? You wanna display a message. For example, here enter your name. System.out, right? Enter your name. Enter your name. Okay, there are my amazing students. Ishmael and Ariela.
Hello.
Okay, so question. Yeah, you have question, right?
Yeah, excuse me, Professor, I have a question. So, like, every sentence, but like every time you write something, like system out plan, strings, you have to put like a semicolon at the end, right?
Yes, right. This is called a statement terminator in Java. So semicolon or statement terminator, synonyms, yes. Every time you finish a statement, you will have to finish with a statement terminator. Finish that because statement terminator, semicolon are a nightmare for developer when they discover that they need that, and later we're gonna see in another video what.
So if you don't put a semicolon in like each, when you repeat system out plan, strings, then it will not work. The
Exactly.
code.
The NetBeans is gonna tell you a compilation error, syntax error. So you are not typing really well. You don't know how to speak, how to write in Java, something like that. Okay. Okay. So we're gonna display here. Enter your name, and we're gonna capture the name of the user in the variable name. Okay. So let's gonna use name, the variable name. Okay. The assignment operator, and then let's gonna use the scanner. Okay. You know to type input, the name of your scanner, and then type that. But now you said, okay, professor told me how to receive a whole number, next int, how to receive a decimal number, next double. How can I receive a text?
I know.
Okay, you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Next string.
No, good guess, but it's not next string. It's just next.
Just next.
Just next, exactly. Well, good guess. So, next. Okay, first we're gonna use next. Okay, but what happened here? So assume that the user type a beautiful name, for example, Evelyn. Okay, beautiful name, beautiful. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now, what happened here? The user type Evelyn. So you're gonna capture Evelyn with the scanner, right? Input that next. So what happened with next? Next is gonna check text. Yes, this is text, and see that there is nothing coming after the end. So it's gonna grab the text, correct? And it's gonna store in the variable name, right? This is how Java proceeds. So now, we're gonna have name, in the variable name, you're gonna have the beautiful name, Evelyn. Okay? But what's happened? What happened if the user now type, for example, Evelyn, white space, Toledo, for example. Okay? Toledo. White space Toledo. There is a problem here with the scanner. Next, it's gonna check Evelyn, detect the white space, and it's gonna think, okay, this is a string, the text, and it's not gonna grab Toledo. Okay, when you have these kind of things, you will have to use next line, not next. Next is gonna grab just one word. If there is white spaces, it's not gonna work. Okay? So in order to make this work, you need to use now next line. Next line is gonna grab the whole line, the whole text, even that you use 1, 2, 3 white spaces. everything until you press enter. So now you're gonna grab the whole name, the full name. So now you're gonna grab, for example, Evelyn Toledo, for example. Here. So now in this video, I did teach you how to use the scanner, the principal thing to use the scanner, whole numbers, decimal numbers, and for strings. So I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in our next trick and tips about programming. Bye!
Bye!
Okay, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember, everyone can learn Java. Okay, you can learn now with your kids, right? With your family. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun when you teach and learn with love. So remember.
You can learn Java at all ages.
All ages, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So please remember to watch our next video. Okay? Enjoy that.
Bye. Bye. So over here, it would be for like whole numbers. You would finalize it with next int. So that's for whole numbers, and for decimal would be next double. So for the text, it would be input dot next line.
Yes, next line. If you know that you're gonna receive something like a full name that have white spaces.
Like a space.
If you know that you're gonna receive only one word, you can use next. Yes,
Oh, okay.
you can use just input the next. This is if you wanna receive, for example, only.
But if you're
one word.
asking like enter your first and last name, then you would input the next line.
Perfect. You got it.
How
Thank you.
spell decimals? Okay.
See, I still with that. Wait.